who were ethnically cleansed in 1948, their right of return, the right of compensation for the land, the 531 villages that were destroyed, their bank accounts that were confiscated, the land that they had legal title for that was gone. And what do we do with a Jewish state which is unique in the entire world, that there is no state like that based either on a racial or religious criteria, because in every other context it is seen to be as discriminatory. And what does that mean for the future of Israel? And of course the Palestinians inside Israel, and of course the Palestinians in the refugee camps. Just two easy questions.
The first question, can people hear me in the rear, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. The first question had to do with the possibility of creating an Arab lobby or a Palestinian lobby in the United States. I think that that may happen over the long term, in say 20 or 30 years. But from having talked to all sorts of Palestinians and Arabs in the United States, I don't think anybody seriously believes that that's likely to happen anytime soon. My good friend Rashid Halidi says that this is largely a function of generational change. Rashid points out that the vast majority of American Jews came to the United States between 1890 and 1920. And it took them a long time, as it does all immigrant groups, to get established and to become comfortable participating in the political process. And thus, by the 1960s, certainly by the 1980s, many American Jews were successful enough and comfortable enough in the political process that they were able to create this very powerful lobby. And Rashid has said that the Palestinians and the Arabs more generally will be able to do this, in a few decades once they get established and become incorporated into the political process. So unfortunately, I don't think there's much hope. I mean, I hope I'm wrong here, but I don't think there's much hope that this situation is going to change. My sense is, and this is not based on a lot of experience up here in Canada, but my sense is that the situation is more hopeful in Canada, that the Arab community is better organized and is probably not that far away from where it can throw around a significant amount of political weight. But I don't see a similar situation in the United States. Your second question had to do with
The right of return for Palestinians.
The right of return,
to Israel,
yes.
and of course,
Right of return,
Israel,
okay.
as it's defined as a Jewish state. What does that
Yeah,
mean?
well, I'll stick to just, because that's really two questions built in one. I'll stick just to the first one on the whole subject of right of return, which is, of course, an enormously controversial subject. I think that there is no way that you could have a right of return that allowed all of Palestinians and their descendants who were expelled in 1948 to go back to their homes in pre-1967 Israel. I think if you were to push that, the Israelis would simply never agree to a deal. So I think that what's going to happen here is there's going to have to be a symbolic return of refugees, and there's going to have to be some sort of arrangement made where those Palestinians who lost their homes are generously compensated for what happened. I would guess that the United States and the Saudis and the Europeans would have to create a huge fund of money to pay those people for what has happened to them. Is justice served in this story that I am telling? No, it is not. But in this case, the only way you could get a solution and end this absolutely horrible situation is to make compromises on this issue.